Okay, we are back on part two of the screencast. It's actually good that that happened, that little freeze up, because iMovie only, or YouTube only lets us put out 15 minutes of video at a time. So we're probably getting pretty close. Anyhow, what I'm going to do is we've established it. We've added the background song for our presentation, our little desert soldier in the desert. And I'd like to add another one so the music plays throughout. And so I didn't like the copy paste thing, but you can easily just go back out to Finder, find Desert Theme in your folder, and then drag another copy of it down, probably underneath. If I drop it down on this track, I should get another version of it. There it is. And now, you're going to hear both of these at the same time. So what I'm going to do is kind of start one where the other one ends and kind of listen to see what it sounds like. All right, now here's the nice thing about iMovie. You can actually overlap them a little bit. So if I overlap these two guys a little bit, let me zoom in a little bit with this little slider, and you can see the waveforms, and we can kind of sweeten this up to make it sound seamless. Okay, I kind of want it to start where it gets more intense here. So with any of these audio clips, if you focus on one side or the other, you can trim these back a little bit. So I was thinking maybe I could trim this one back a hair. Like we can just grab the side. It's difficult without the mouse, or maybe I'll just bring it back and start it when the intensity starts right there. So yours might vary a little bit. So there's no right or wrong. We're just trying to get our feet wet with adding different layers of audio. Okay, now we're looking good. Now we've got the audio playing throughout the rest of the movie, except I don't want it after it ends right here. So what a guy could do is he could take this clip right here and he could split it and just delete the last half of it and kind of fade it out. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my playhead and put it at the end of my clip. And now that this clip is purple, dark purple, if I go up to edit and choose split selected audio clip at playhead, I don't know if you can tell, but it's split that into two pieces now. It looks like I got another unfortunate freeze. Should probably save this. All right, this is where it got hung up last time. But anyhow, in the, in your window, if you move this playhead away, you can select the right side of that audio clip and delete it. And then you could have the music kind of end when the video ends. Okay, now here's the other nice thing about adding some audio, right? Any of these other sounds, for example, I saw that, I noticed the vulture. You could add sounds anytime you wanted by just dragging them in there, and I believe there was bird sounds in here. So if I go to bird sounds and just kind of preview this, that's probably not a vulture sound I'm thinking of, but how about this one? Okay, probably not what I had in mind here, but for lack of having other sounds in here that sound like birds, you could probably use one of those, and just to demonstrate it, I could grab bird sounds and drag it down underneath here and drop it into this track and have it playing when that bird is flying. Or better yet, you've got some other cool sounds that would be very appropriate here throughout the video, and that is something like, let's see here. Oh, this sizzle when he's stumbling through the desert, or I was thinking, let's see here, even toy guns. That would be appropriate for this clip way back earlier when he was the second clip in the video when he was looking over his shoulder. You could drag this clip and drop it down into your timeline, and when you let go, you guys will be able to let go. I cannot because I'm hung up here, but that clip, if you had dragged it and dropped it down underneath into this other track, you could add other sounds to your video. And now it's time for you to experiment a little bit. So there's no right or wrong with this. The idea here is that you get comfortable with adding some audio. You got any of these you can pick from. Add audio wherever you want it into video track 2. You just want to make sure you don't put audio over existing audio. You want to put it in its own track underneath because it's easier to work with. So when you're done, just save your video, and again, there's no right or wrong. It's just getting you some practice at adding audio, and then maybe towards the end here we can compare shots and see how that goes. I guess in long term here we're not going to have a an Edmodo quiz on this today. We'll just try this out for one day and see how it works with the screencast technique. All right, thanks for listening.